You here? Um, let's see, Liz. Hi, Liz. How are you? Are you here for the AA meeting? Where are you calling from, and how long have you been sober? And to Liz.
Sorry, Liz, alcoholic addict. I'm struggling with the controls. I'm so sorry. I'm in my PJs. I actually have been clean and sober for 8 years. However, I'm currently on prescribed weed since probably 10 months.
What the hell are you talking about? Okay, where are you calling from?
Sydney, Australia.
Oh, you're in Sydney. Look, that's of
Yes.
course, yeah. And how long are you sober?
So I have been clean and sober for 8 years. However, I'm currently on prescribed marijuana for the
Oh
last
my
10
God, I can
months.
tell. Are you having hallucinations? Do you see
I,
things like now? Is it like,
I
woo?
certainly am. Hands are coming at me, orange.
All right. She's no, working on day one. Change that. Cassie, Sinita, okay, Leslie, um, Boris, Tony, 11 days. Glad to see you back here, Tony. Heather. Heather in Idaho. How about that? Hi, Heather. How long have you been sober? If you could come in, talk to me. I'm
20
asking some of these
26 days.
security reasons.
26
26,
days. Yep.
26 days. What's the name of the place that you're in Idaho?
Asaka,
What is that?
Asaka, Idaho.
Oh, are you in an Indian reservation or something or what?
Yes.
Oh, how about that? Really? Are you on the reservation right now?
Yes.
Wow. Are you Native American?
Yes, I am.
Oh, wow. So how big's the reservation and everything?
Uh, it stretches for quite a ways here.
Wow. Do you guys have AA meetings there or not?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So that's we don't usually get too many people from Indian reservations. Maybe like in the past 4.5 years, maybe 3 or 4 people. So, well, that's good. And you're 26 days. Okay. So welcome to Newcomers Slipper Step Workshop. Glad you're here. Hi.
You.
Well, Sean. Hey, Sean. Hi, how are you? Are you here for the AA meeting? And where are you calling from today? How long have you been sober?
Yes, I'm Sean. I'm an alcoholic, 23 years sober, and I'm calling in from Norfolk, Virginia.
Wow, Norfolk, Virginia, 23 years. Welcome to Newcomers Slipper Step Workshop.
Thank you.
Uh, Anthony. Hey, Anthony. Hi. Are you here for the AA meeting? And where are you calling from? How long have you been sober? We ask these questions because we're clearing out the Zoom bombers, and also this is a newcomers meeting, so everybody's new here and trying to figure out what's what. So Jan to Anthony. Also, we try to keep the space safe. Okay, Anthony G, Texas, 10 months. Got it? Okay. You can help too, Jesse. Sarah, hi, how are you? Where are you calling from? How long have you been sober? Hi, Sarah. If you could come in and talk to me, please. No, we're asking these. Yeah, hi.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
My name's Sarah. I'm calling from Indianapolis, Indiana,
Yeah. How long are you
and
sober?
starting over today. Made it to 6 years, and then had a little bit of trouble for a couple years, but here I am.
Well, that's so what happened to you? Did you stop going to meetings or what happened where you
I,
started drinking?
I stopped going to meetings I was still going, but not nearly as regularly, just every once
Yeah.
in a while. And
Oh
then
yeah.
I went through a not great divorce.
Yeah. So then
The
you said,
meeting
what the
kind
hell?
of
Then one day you just picked up a drink. Is that it?
Pretty much. I kind of said, well, he can't tell me what to do anymore, and this is the one thing I think I can control, even though obviously,
Yeah. Yeah, it's always something that
right,
thing of where we cut back on meetings, especially in a time of crises. And that's I always went to more meetings during a time of crisis, not less. And which is what they tell us to do in AA. But it helped me a great deal to not to what you did. Anyways, welcome back. Working on day one. DR, if you could come in, please. Hi, are you here for the AA meeting? Watch this, Lance.
Yes,
Yeah.
hi. I'm Diane Renee and I am in Sacramento, California, and I am on day one.
Are you on day one too? Okay, welcome to Newcomers Slipper Step Workshop. Okay, good. I think is that everybody? I think that's it. I think we got everybody. Okay, so Lance, if you could put everything up, please. And to read. And then Jesse will kick it over to you and let you read everything in the introductions to the meeting. You have to unmute.
And Jesse, if you want to wait till I'm done posting everything, otherwise it's going to bounce around on you.
So those of you who just got here, you're in an AA class. You know, one thing I'm going to do before he starts reading is I'm going to turn on the let's see, profile pictures, and I'm also going to turn your video on, and then Lance, if you could watch that. You guys can turn your video on now too, and just so that you know, everyone, we're recording this meeting on audio on the meeting for we put it up on our YouTube channel. People who, you know, might want to come to Newcomer Slippers via YouTube in post production. So over to you, Jesse.
All right. My name's Jesse, alcoholic. Welcome to Newcomers Slipper Step Workshop. If you are new to AA or coming back, then this is the meeting for you. This group is exactly what the name says, a workshop. We read 5 AA books, work the steps, sponsor you, give writing and reading assignments, and we will teach you an AA program. We move right along here and people get well here. Newcomers Slipper Step Workshop is a step workshop. Unlike most AA meetings, it is not a speaker's meeting nor a discussion meeting. It is more like an AA class, AA 101. You want to have the attitude of learning, do the assigned reading and writing on the steps. We will take you through the steps and AA books in short order. So if you are looking for guidance and direction in an AA program, this meeting is for you. Security for Newcomer Slipper Step Workshop, we use the waiting room. So when you come in, we ask for your first name, last initial, country or city, and how long you've been sober. We have chat turned off. You can chat with the host or the co-hosts. Unmute is turned off. Cameras and pictures are turned off at the beginning of each meeting. We turn them on later. We don't exchange phone numbers, but you can get the number of the host for text and support. Here is our email for meeting confirmation. It is stepworkshop1@gmail.com. This is good for school, class, work, probation, court orders, etc. And there's a link to the meeting below. We do all of the above for safety reasons since everyone is new here and we want to protect you. Zoom bombers try to get in and the above eliminates them. You will notice this is a step workshop and not a speakers or discussion meeting. It is like a class, AA 101, AA University. It is a very unique meeting since we use the same principles AA used between 1932 and 1939. Everybody works in the group and moves through the 12 steps to live our lives free from alcohol and learn a new way of living. We're glad you can make it. Announcements. AA in this meeting is supported by our own contributions to Seventh Traditions. You can make donations to @Jann-Scott in Venmo. Contributions go to pay for Zoom, and we make monthly donations to Boulder 1 AA and Boulder County AA. We spend about $250 a month. This group meets daily with the following formats. On Mondays, it's a step meeting, 12 and 12, Meme Monday. Tuesday is the big book, T-shirt Tuesday, AA inspired preferred. Wednesday, we read As Bill Sees It, Sunglass Wednesday. Thursday is beginners, steps 1, 2, or 3, or any beginner related topic, Dog Thursday. Friday is open, the chair picks the topic, and it's Cat Friday. Saturday, we read Living Sober, virtual background day. And Sunday is Daily Reflections, Fashion Sunday. Please join me in the Serenity Prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. The AA Preamble. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of people who share their experience, strength, and hope with each other that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism.
Sorry
The
about
only
that.
requirement, the only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organization, or institution, and does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. Below is a newcomers packet. And for the newcomers, please come to our meeting for 5 days and see how you like it. Then we'll put you to work.
And at that point, you say, okay, back to you, Jan, in the studio.
And back to you, Jann, in the studio.
Oh, thank you, Jesse. Hi, everybody. Hey, I'm Jann, alcoholic. Welcome to Newcomers Slipper Step Workshop. You are in a class. You're in an AA workshop. You are in the only workshop meeting class like this in the world. And yes, we are recording the meeting for audio. Just to let you know, no video. If you don't like that, you can leave and find another meeting. And we put these up on our YouTube channel. And we just started doing it over the past couple of days, so it's been kind of fun doing this. This meeting's been going on for what is it, 3.5, 4.5 years. We have had over 30,000 people visit this meeting. 1,000 people have gone through all the 12 steps with us and done the entire program in about a month and a half. And they've stayed sober. We have about 200 people who come to this meeting regularly. We have 100 new people a week. Just today, if you look at today's meeting, there's probably 10 people who are brand new in here. My recommendation to you is, if you think you might like this meeting, come here for 5 days, see how you like it, and then we'll put you to work. So that would be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You come for 5 days, see how you like it. And then what we do here is we give reading assignments, writing assignments. In the AA books, we use 5 different AA books, okay, which include Daily Reflections, which is a meditation book. We're going to read that today. Tomorrow we go to 12 Steps and 12 Traditions on Mondays. Tuesdays, we read from the big book. We actually read from the big book every day. Wednesdays, we read from As Bill Sees It. Saturdays, we read from Living Sober. I think that's it. And I think Lance just put up a list of all the books. There they are in chat that we read. And you can get these books. We have a list of places where you can get them. And there it is right there. Some of these places are like Amazon, Alcoholics Anonymous, and there's one here that everybody seems to like. It's called, I don't know what the hell it's called, but it's up there. Make sure when you get a book for an AA book that it's published by Alcoholics Anonymous and it's not a pirate book. Okay, some other people publish books and they put them in Amazon, and then when you open them, the pages are all wrong. They're just a disaster. So don't get a pirate. Just get one of the books that we usually use. So today we read from Daily Reflections, and let's see, who wants to read? Who has the book? Who wants to read from Daily Reflections for today? Hey, Amanda, do you have Daily Reflections today, or are you off in the hinterlands? It's hidden someplace. And I saw her here a minute ago. There, you could see the cat. Amanda is a cat that comes to the meeting. The only cat that comes here. We do have Cat Friday. That's. Do you have your Daily Reflections with you?
No, I don't today. Sorry.
Oh, that's. So, who wants to read? Who wants to read from Daily Reflections? I'm going to whistle the theme song from Jeopardy while we wait for someone to raise their hand. Sinita, go ahead. You want to read today's daily reflections?
Yes. Sinita, alcoholic addict. Um, daily reflections, October the 13th. Unremitting inventories. Continue to watch for selfishness, dishonesty, resentment, and fear. When these crop up, we ask God at once to remove them. We discuss them with someone immediately and make amends quickly if we have harmed anyone. Then we resolutely turn our thoughts to someone we can help. Alcohol, Alcoholics Anonymous 84. The immediate admission of wrong thoughts or actions is a tough task for most human beings, but for recovering addicts like me, it is difficult because of my propensity toward ego, fear, and pride. The freedom of the freedom the AA program offers me becomes more abundant when, though unremitting inventories of myself, I admit, acknowledge, and accept responsibilities for my wrongdoing. It is possible then for me to grow into a deeper and better understanding of humility. My willingness to admit when the fault is mine facilitates the progression of my growth and helps me to become more understanding and helpful to others. Thank you for allowing me a service.
All right. So listen, now this is your birthday today, right? Today's your 365 days. You have 1 year sober, right? Clean and sober. Hey, you want to tell your story in 5 minutes or 3 minutes? What it was like, what happened, what it's like now?
It came from pretty much my childhood being abused from my father abusing my mom. So we had to deal with a lot of abuse and verbal abuse, emotional abuse, basically. But he abused my mom physically. And it progressed into me just staying in trouble all the time, getting with the wrong people, and always wanting to be in control, being the center of attention. And then I got in abusive relationships. And then, I just gave up thinking I was a nobody. And I thought I couldn't function without alcohol or marijuana. And went into several rehabs until this last one. I learned how to deal with myself. I learned about myself and got into the rooms of AA. That's really what's mostly helping me is being in the rooms, being with people that's loving and welcoming, accepting me as who I am. My mental health had a factor as well to my abuse, but basically that's what my life turned into was just abuse and of me trying to function, find happiness where it got out of control and I couldn't stop until I went into this last treatment to, figure out who I was. That's basically what happened.
So are you an alcoholic?
I'm very much one.
Did you drink alcohol?
I drank alcohol till I became a blackout drinker, and then I just started drinking beer. I was a blackout drinker as well with that, but I just refused to give up drinking until I was forced, and that was the best thing that happened to me. Me realizing that I just keep on being a f up, so it was time for me to try to change my ways. And the only way I could change my ways is to find out who I really was. So, like I said, I was dual diagnosed. So I started dealing with my mental health and my alcoholism and learning who I was. And now today I'm still a work in progress as far as learning who I am, but
Could you talk a little bit about your recovery in AA?
AA, basically, me learning how to do my steps. Like before, I didn't do them. I didn't stay in AA. Once I did start doing my steps, coming into AA in person and getting a sponsor. Basically, you taught me a lot. Along with the recovery center I was at. But then I ventured out and found me an outside sponsor, and been dealing with that. And my first
Hey,
year is,
you've been coming to this meeting for almost a year, huh?
yes, I
You're coming-
started in May. I want to say yes, in May.
Right. Okay, perfect. Thank you for sharing that. Now, since yes, clapping. It's a tradition of this meeting to sing happy birthday to people, and this is her first year. So if everybody would unmute, hit the unmute button. Are you ready? You want to lead us, Preston? Singing. Here we go. Singing. Happy birthday
to
to you.
Happy
Happy
birthday to
to you.
Happy birthday to
Happy
Happy
birthday to
birthday.
you.
Happy birthday to you.
Yes, indeed.
Thank
And
you
many
guys.
Thank
more.
you.
Thank y'all so much.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
Celebrate sobriety.
That's the most fun part of this meeting. Ah! Holy crap.
Love it.
Thank you for telling your story, and 1 year sober, that is a miracle. It certainly is. For anybody that thinks you can't have a terrible early life and not get sober, you're a living example. Okay, so there we go. Now, what were we going to do today? We were going to do something with somebody. What was it? Okay. You want to tell me there, Preston? Do you remember? Do you remember, Lance? Do you remember, Sean? Weren't we going to do something with somebody? Some people.
You were going to focus on steps 10, 11, and 12 for the whole group.
Okay, and we were going to take one. Okay, we were. Oh, that's a great idea, huh?
And then Rachel in Australia also needs the steps for step 4.
The fourth step, right? Okay. Well, hey, thank you for telling me that. Okay, let's get to work on step 10, 11, and 12. Everybody open your book up to page 84, your AA Big Book. And open your AA Big Book to page 84. And that's where steps 10, 11, and 12 start. Okay, certainly steps 10 and 11. All right, so hey, Lance, you want to start reading? Bottom of, where is it? This thought brings us to step 10. And everybody follow along. It's in there in chat, I think. Is it?
Yeah, hold on 1 second.
Okay, sure. Take your time. No pressure. Oh, I think he's just putting it in now. Okay, there it is. Thank you. Okay, it's right there if you want to link to it, and you guys can follow along. So if you would read like a page, and then we'll have somebody else read a page.
Okay, and for everybody following along, this is the middle of page 84. This thought brings us to step 10, which suggests we continue to take personal inventory and continue to set right any new mistakes as we go along. We vigorously commenced this way of living as we cleaned up the past. We have entered the world of the spirit. Our next function is to grow in understanding and effectiveness. This is not an overnight matter. It should continue for our lifetime. Continue to watch for selfishness, dishonesty, resentment, and fear. When these crop up, we ask God at once to remove them. We discuss them with someone immediately, and we make amends quickly if we have harmed anyone. Then we resolutely turn our thoughts to someone we can help. Love and tolerance of others is our code, and we have ceased fighting anything or anyone, even alcohol. For by this time, sanity will have returned. We will seldom be interested in liquor. If tempted, we recoil from it as from a hot flame. React sanely and normally, and we will find that this has happened automatically. We will see that our new attitude toward liquor has been given us without any thought or effort on our part.
Hey, would
It
you
just
stop right there
comes.
for a second?
Yeah. Mhm.
This is a really important part of the book, right up here on top of page 85. So sometimes people will say, how do I quit drinking? When is this going to come? When will I stop having the desire to drink? I still want to drink. Why do I feel so messed up? And then it says here, it says, we're seldom interested in liquor. If tempted, we recoil from it as from a hot flame. We react sanely and normally. We will find that this has happened automatically. Well, why has it happened automatically? Because you're in step 10. You've already done step 1, admitted I'm powerless over alcohol. You've done step 2, came to believe a power greater than you can restore you to sanity. You found a higher power of some time. You've done a complete inventory. And then you've made a 5th step, confessions of sorts, to God and to another person, whoever God is. And then you've started to look at your own shortcomings and character defects or defects of thinking in 6 and 7. And then in 8, you made a list of people that you caused harms to. In step 9, you contacted them either by letter or in person, and we work on that here. And now we're at step 10, and it's step 10. It's saying, well, we're continuing to take personal inventory, and we're setting right any new mistakes as we go along. So what happens in step 10 is it makes you work 1 through 7 every day, all over again. Like what? Yep. And it says it should continue for a lifetime. So this is the program encapsulated in a nutshell. It's something that we hear if you're on, if you finish steps 1 through 9, you're doing this every day. So like, are you doing this every day, Lance?
Yes.
Yeah, you're going through this process, right? And then what happens? It says the desire to drink is lifted automatically. We will see a new attitude has been given us without any thought or effort on our part. So here's the deal. It's not like you can work your way out of it. It's you go through this 12-step process, which retrains the brain. It rewires the brain how to live your life without drinking. That's why the 12-step process is so important. And so this is the miracle of it. We are not fighting it, neither are we avoiding temptation. We feel as though we've been placed in a position of neutrality. And that's how I feel. I just feel pretty neutral around alcohol. I'm completely not interested in it. I keep going to meetings because they're fun. What? No. Okay. Instead, the problem has been removed. It does not exist. This is what's called solving the existential crisis. I am, therefore I exist. But in this case, JT, it does not exist. JT's our expert on existentialism.
Okay, well, this was an easy one. Rene Descartes, cogito ergo sum. I think therefore I am. Right, but right, this doesn't exist, like you're saying. I'm listening very carefully again. Steps 1 through 9 every day is in the step 10. A lifetime, a daily thing. Keep going to meetings. Spiritual condition. It erodes and the weeds grow back and the zombies come back if I don't if I'm not doing this on a daily thing, 100%.
Yeah, the zombies come back. That's what I fucking worry about. I look through my blinds every night to see if the zombies are out there, especially this time of the year.
Yes.
That's a joke, actually.
Right, okay. It was a metaphor or an allegory, I think. I learned
Yep.
that in here too.
Excellent. Thank you. Oh, excuse me for a second. Okay, and then it goes on to say, this is our experience so long as we learn to keep in fit spiritual condition. Well, what is fit spiritual condition? I think it's doing the process of examination of my shortcomings, character flaws, and then resolving issues that it said in the first part of this chapter here. It says it should continue for a lifetime, continue to watch for, and we do this on a daily basis, selfishness, dishonesty, resentment, fear. When these crop up, we ask God to remove them. What? Selfishness? What? Come on. Well, it's going to explain it more in step 11. It's easy to let up on our spirit. Well, I'll have somebody else read here. Hey, JT, you want to read this? It's easy to let up on our JT in Luxembourg.
Yes, great. It is easy to let up on the spiritual program of action and rest on our laurels. We are headed for trouble if we do, for alcohol is a subtle foe. We are not cured of alcoholism. What we really have is a daily reprieve contingent on the maintenance of our spiritual condition. I underline that thing like 3 times. All right. Every day is a day when we must carry the vision of God's will into all of our activities. How can I best serve thee? Thy will, not mine, be done. These are thoughts which must go with us constantly. We can exercise our willpower along this line all we wish. It is the proper use of the will.
Okay, let's stop for a second here. This is where Bill Wilson gets into the book of James and the Bible, and he turns religious on us here. It says here, every day is a day we must carry the vision of God's will into all of our activities. For our purposes in this group, God's will translated is go to AA meetings, specifically this one, work the 12-step process, and don't drink. So don't drink, go to AA meetings, and do this 12-step process. Oh, what is God's will for me? Don't drink, go to this AA meeting, and work this 12-step process. That's it. There is nothing more evangelical about it. Go ahead, JT, keep reading.
All right. Much has already been said about receiving strength, inspiration, and direction from Him who has all knowledge and power. If we have carefully followed directions, we have begun to sense the flow of His Spirit into us.
Stop right there. So I turn this into a prayer. So right here, you might underline this in your book, okay, and bracket this. So I'm asking now, God, if you have all knowledge and power, help me feel the flow of your spirit into me. Help me become God conscious. Help me develop this vital sixth sense. Okay, what is it? It's a sixth sense of God coming into us, where we start to feel the power. It's like alcohol would come in and put power in us. Drugs would come in. We'd feel the power of that. Well, here we start to feel the power of the Almighty or the sublime or whatever you want to call it, the creative life force, the force, the God consciousness, the I am, the it, or in my case, the who am I? Oh, so it's another bad joke. Sorry. Can't help but laugh. Okay. Go ahead, JT. Keep reading.
Okay. If we have carefully followed directions, we have begun to sense the flow of His Spirit into us. To some extent, we have become God conscious. We have begun to develop this vital sixth sense, but we must go further, and that means more action. Step 11 suggests prayer and meditation. We shouldn't be shy on this matter of prayer. Better men than we are using it constantly. It works if we have the proper attitude and work at it. It would be easy to be vague about this matter, yet we believe we can make some definite and valuable suggestions. When we retire.
Okay, now here, before you start reading this, so this is, underline this part and bracket this paragraph. This is your evening check-in, everybody. You do this every night, and then it tells you what to do, and it gives you some instructions. So you'll take out a sheet of paper and you're going to write down some inventory right here. So go ahead and keep reading.
Okay, when we retire at night, we constructively review our day. Were we resentful, selfish, dishonest, or afraid? Do we owe an apology? Have we kept something to ourselves which should be discussed with another person at once? Were we kind and loving toward all?
Okay, so stop right there. So now I'm going to do my inventory. Let's see. So were we resentful? Okay, was I resentful of anybody yesterday? Not outwardly. What about inwardly? Well, yeah, of course. Okay. Selfish, dishonest, or afraid. In my case, I had a conversation with somebody, and it was probably a conversation I should not have been having, and I was having it anyway. And finally I went on and I said, "Look, I'm going to let you go." It was late. I was watching the football game. It was like, why am I talking with this person? Um, so so the question for me would be, what was I trying to get something out of that conversation for myself? Yes. Was I trying to contribute to them? Probably not. And do I owe an apology? Yes, but I made the apology quickly right then. And one of these short, brief conversations that you have with somebody, and you realize that your motives are not crystal clear. Have we kept something that which should be discussed with another person at once? Yes, and I've just discussed it with you. All what is it? 8 billion of you, right? That's a joke. Were we kind and loving toward all yesterday? Let's see how. Pretty much, for the most part. What could I have done better? Probably not gotten into that conversation at all. Were we thinking of ourselves most of the time? No, just in one conversation. Or were we thinking of what we could contribute, could do for others, what we could pack into the stream of life? So mostly, yesterday I was considering doing what I could do for others and pack into the stream of life. That part's pretty important. And I'll tell you something that happened today. I was on Reddit and I made a comment about something that was positive and germane. And two people came back and they just attacked the hell out of me. And then I thought, oh my goodness, what is wrong with you? And I asked them, and then they were even more attacking. And it was a question about, you know, yellow flowers are beautiful. And that person said, no, yellow flowers are not beautiful. And you're really fucked up for saying that. And I realized that the people that I was communicating with were really gone. And I, got to the point of like, okay, I'm not going to enter this conversation anymore. It's kind of the daily stuff that we have. And I'm one of those people that kind of puts myself out there anyways. So I'm like a communicator. I'm out there in the community. I'm, talking with people. So, sometimes people are going to take shots at you. I have a tendency to try to not go into forums where people are going to really beat you up. I don't really need that in my life. So, as an example, one area yesterday I was writing on Nextdoor about the amount of housing being built here in Boulder, and I thought, oh, they want to build 10,000 more. That's not a great idea. Most of the people on there agreed with me. Okay, but they were homeowners, they were adults. Now, if I were to bring that same conversation into a group of poor homeless people on Twitter, they'd all tell me what a jackass, selfish douchebag I am. But I'm not going to go have a conversation where people are going to beat the crap out of me. I don't need to go in there. It's kind of like this AA meeting. If you notice, this particular AA workshop is pretty positive. We're studying the material that helps us get well, including me, right? And we don't have a lot of back and forth sniping, punching, clipping, all of that. If somebody starts with that even a little bit, usually I'll text them and say, cut it up, because what are we trying to do here? We're trying to live this really good example. So here we go. What could we have done better? This is your morning inventory or your evening one. Were we thinking about what we could have done for others? In the middle of page 86, what we could pack into the stream of life. That one is important to me. What can I pack into the stream of life, right? Most of us are about our little worlds, and I don't want to do anything, and I don't, no, I'm not going to be. Well, I kind of now I look at, okay, what can I contribute to life itself? I may be at that place in my life, old, retired, ready for death, trying to hedge my bets so that I get into heaven. What? As Jim Morrison said, you cannot petition the Lord. All right, okay. We must be careful not to drift into worry, remorse, or morbid reflection. I pray, that is a prayer, underline that. God, help me not drift into worry, remorse, or morbid reflection. I was very good at that. I can do it today. Help me not do that. And when I pray that prayer, he helps me not. It just changes me. I just flip on it. After making a review, we ask, check this out. We ask God's for forgiveness and inquire what corrective measures should be taken. So I will wake up and sometimes all this stuff from the past that I've done or things that have gone south will rush in. And I just start asking, I'll just ask God for forgive me, please forgive me for that. Help me do whatever it is I can for those people in the past. I constantly pray for forgiveness. And I try to picture God. In my case, it would be Jesus. I try to picture him and try to, if you're Buddhist or you're a non-believer, you can picture the clouds. You picture whatever you want to. You can picture the forest, the trees, the flowers. Help me resolve these issues. Help me not be part of the hate in the world. Help me recover. Because my problem is if I don't do this, I'm going to go back to alcohol and drugs, which is why I've been coming to AA since February of 1975. I can't go back out there and live like that. JT, back over to you. I'll let you keep reading on Upon Awakening.
Okay, on awakening, let us think about the 24 hours ahead. We consider our plans for the day. Before we begin, we ask God to direct our thinking, especially asking it that it be divorced from self-pity, dishonest, or self-seeking motives.
Okay, stop right there for a second. So this is your morning inventory, your morning setup. You do this every morning. Okay, and what do you do in the morning? Upon awakening, let us think about our day. So, when you get out your pen or your phone and you're going to write down your list of things to do, and where am I going? This is when you do this prayer. Before we begin our plans for the day, before we begin, here it is. I ask God to turn it into a prayer. God, direct my thinking for today. That I not have self-pity, dishonest, or self-seeking motives. Go ahead, keep reading under these conditions.
Under these conditions, we can employ our mental faculties with assurance, for after all, God gave us brains to use. Our thought life will be placed on a much higher plane when our thinking is cleared of wrong motives.
So this, I turn this into a prayer. God, turn my thought life, place my thought life on a higher plane. You can just visualize it. Keep my thinking, clear my thinking of wrong motives. Turn that into a prayer, or make it a. If you don't pray, you can turn it into a like a vision, or what's the word I'm thinking of? And you basically put it out there. You want to create it. Okay, keep reading.
In thinking about our day, we may face indecision. We may not be able to determine which course to take. Here we ask God for inspiration and an intuitive thought or a decision.
Okay, stop right there. We turn this into a prayer. So you're going to actualize this. So here I am thinking about my day. If I face indecision, help me make a decision. Help me determine what is the right course. Which way should I go? I'm asking you, God, for inspiration and intuitive thoughts or a decision as I go through my day, in my work, with my family, in my life. See, we pray this, we turn it into a prayer and ask Him to help me with it. Go ahead.
We relax and take it easy. We
Take a deep breath. Everybody take a deep breath and relax. Go ahead. Okay, we relax and take it easy. Keep going.
Okay. We don't struggle. We are often surprised how the right answers come after we have tried this for a while.
Okay, so here's me not struggling. I'm relaxed, taking it easy, and I'm not struggling. And then I can feel the right answers come in. So you want to turn this into a prayer, into a process. Go ahead.
What used to be the hunch or the occasional inspiration gradually becomes a working part of the mind. Being still inexperienced, having just made conscious contact with God, it is not probable that we are going to be inspired at all times.
Okay, stop right there. So, God, I know I've just started making conscious contact with you here in the 11th step in AA. I didn't realize this was going to happen. So, I'm asking you to, whatever inspiration you give me, to just give it clear to me and help me see my way through the day, because so much of my day early on in recovery is so confusing and there's so much going on. I feel so battered. I'm just asking you to help heal me through this process. Okay, go ahead.
We might pay for this presumption in all sorts of absurd actions and ideas.
That did not happen to me. As long as I prayed this prayer, any sort of absurdities went right out the window. Go ahead.
Nevertheless, we find that our thinking will, as time passes, be more and more on the plane of inspiration.
Yeah.
We come to rely upon it.
Absolutely. God, I'm depending on you for the correct inspiration. So all of you listening, you do this as a prayer, as an actualization, as a meditation. You make this real. Go ahead.
We usually conclude the period of meditation with a prayer that we be shown all through the day what our next step is to be, that we be given whatever we need to take care of such problems. We ask especially for freedom from self-will and careful to make no request for ourselves only. We may
Now,
ask.
hang on, stop for a second right there. So here, again, you turn this into a prayer. Just read that one more time, what you just read.
we may ask for ourselves, no, sorry, we ask especially for freedom from self-will.
But it will be the line above that.
Ah. We be shown all through the day what our next step is to be.
That is it. You turn that into a prayer. Show me the steps I need to take. Keep going.
That we be given whatever we need to take care of such problems.
Here it is. So this is not just a reading exercise, guys. This is you communicating with God. Okay, go ahead.
Yep. We may ask for ourselves, however, if we ask, we ask especially for freedom from self-will and are careful to make no request for ourselves only. We may ask for ourselves, however, if others will be helped.
Now, stop right there. So this is, sometimes people get this confused in AA and they say you can't pray for yourself. Well, that's nonsense. So if others be helped. So let's say you're married, you have a house, you have kids, you have a job, you have kids you have to feed, things you need to take care of. So you can say, okay, God, if others would be helped. So, I have people that work for me, my employees help me and my company make enough money this month so that I can pay, the employees, I can pay my taxes. I have, that I can have enough money to have food for the children. I can make the house payment, the car payment. The Alcoholics Anonymous this is not this is not a program of poverty. Okay, it is this is a program where we're trying to take care of everything. Sometimes you'll go to meetings and people will talk about like never pray for yourself. Well, that's bullshit. God answers prayers, and I'll tell you in my case, turned everything around. Okay, keep going.
If circumstances warrant, we ask our wives or friends to join us in morning meditation. If we belong to a religious domination, which requires a definite morning devotion, we attend to that also.
Okay, stop right there. So, family, I had a sponsor. He and his wife would pray every morning, and they were in great shape. So, if you're married, have a husband, wife, so you can pray with them. You can say, "Can we just pray together about these things?" That's fine. It always works out. You can pray with your family members. And this was written in a time when people did have more and more a religious devotion, some like with Jews going to temple or having certain things they're doing. Catholics sometimes I went to mass every day for a while. That was pretty helpful. The church is just down the street. They have a 7 o'clock mass. That was helpful. In fact, I have a pretty good friend who is he happens to be a priest. He comes over and watches baseball with me. I'm sure he probably wants to make sure that I'm. I asked him one day. I said, "Do you think I'm going to get into heaven?" He said, "No, you're definitely getting into heaven." So if you have a Catholic priest telling you you're going to get into heaven, that's generally a thumbs up, 2 thumbs up, right, Preston? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Keep going.
Okay. If not members of religious bodies, we sometimes select and memorize a few set prayers which emphasize the principles we have been discussing. There are many helpful books also. Suggestions about these may be obtained from one's priest, minister, or rabbi. Be quick to see where religious people are right.
We have a couple people in this group one guy's a Hindu, and we have another person in here who is a Muslim, and they're both kind of practicing. Tejas is a Hindu. He just had a Hindu wedding, and sometimes people get back to their church of choice. It took me about 10 years or longer. I was just so messed up, guys. Like I told you, it was 11 years sober before I even dealt with what we're reading today. And that started to change everything. Go ahead, keep reading.
Okay. Make use of what they offer. As we go through the day, we pause when agitated or doubtful and ask for the right thought or action. We constantly remind ourselves we are no longer running the show, humbly saying to ourselves many times each day, quote, "Thy will be done," unquote.
Okay, here people do this thing about the asking for the right thought or action. They'll pause when agitated. That's a real big one in AA. You know, I'm not very good at it. I have a tendency to just flip out. I don't pause for shit, but I'm better at it. You know, it's a good prayer. Okay, keep going.
We are then in much less danger of excitement, fear, anger, worry, self-pity, or foolish decisions.
Here I
become mu-
ask, here I may turn this into a prayer, what you just read. I underline that and I ask, keep me, you know, from fear, worry. Every day, turn this into a prayer. Go ahead.
Um, worry, self-pity, or foolish decisions. We become much more efficient. We do not tire so easily for not burning up energy foolishly as we did when we were trying to arrange life to suit ourselves.
Here I ask God, you know, help me not burn up energy foolishly. Help me not tire. Give me energy. Let me read this. We
Yes.
alcoholics were in discipline. So we let God discipline us this simple way we've just outlined. So here's this thing about discipline being undisciplined drinkers. So there is a function that God can have, which is to discipline us. Well, what is that? What is discipline? Correction. So today, if I start out, I think I'm going to go into a 7-Eleven and steal 3 or 4 candy bars because I don't have enough money. Well, chances are pretty good that my car will crash through the front window before I get there. So the closer you get to letting this higher power run your life, the more higher risk you have of having things not work out. So once you make this change to live a spiritual life, you want to be careful to go backwards and live a dishonest criminal life, because if you have God in your life, it could really interfere and mess things up, and you can get very, very angry. But if you start to see that you've turned your will and your life over to the care of God as I understand him, you start to, so that's where the discipline comes in. The discipline is to not, to stop robbing, cheating, stealing, not paying my bills, all of that, to become a responsible citizen. And sometimes that's antithetical to alcoholic thinking. It takes a while to turn it around. All right. Thanks, JT, thank you very much, actually, reading
My
this
pleasure.
and going through this with me. And thanks you everybody for doing this. We're done for today. And once, hey, Cassie, you want to read the promises? Do you happen to have them?
All right. These are the promises. If we are painstaking about this phase of our development, we will be amazed before we are halfway through. We are going to know a new freedom and a new happiness. We will not regret the past, nor wish to shut the door on it. We will comprehend the word serenity, and we will know peace. No matter how far down the scale we have gone, we will see how our experience can benefit others. That feeling of uselessness and self-pity will disappear. We will lose interest in selfish things and gain interest in our fellows. Self-seeking will slip away. Our whole attitude and outlook upon life will change. Fear of people and economic insecurity will leave us. We will intuitively know how to handle situations which used to baffle us. We will suddenly realize that God is doing for us what we could not do for ourselves. Are these extravagant promises? We think not. They are being fulfilled among us, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. They will almost always materialize if we work for them.
Hey, thank you. Okay, and here comes the serenity prayer. Thanks for putting that up. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And this meeting is now officially over. If anybody has any questions, oops, excuse me. If anybody has any questions, you can ask them, allowing you to unmute about what we just did or the meeting or anything else.
Very good meeting, very good meeting. Thank you guys for saying